could have given up, but you didn't. You could have stopped believing, but you didn't. You could have kept living their expectations, but you decided to make this life your own. And in turn, you're here. Hello, everyone. Today we're meeting Margit Muller. She is a coach, NLP Master, a speaker, and an author. Hello, Margit. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Anna. It's a really great pleasure.
Thank you. Let's start our conversation by diving into your story of becoming the person you are today. What led you to discover your true passion in life, and how did it start for you? How did you know that this is something you want to do?
That's a great question, actually. Well, I started off as a veterinarian. I've been a veterinarian for many, many years. But my passion for mental health coaching comes actually from my childhood. My mother suffered from a mental illness when I was 8 years old. So I was thrown into this, very different world. I had to grow up very, very, very quickly. And it's an experience that takes a long time to process and to overcome, because in the end, when you are so young and you make such kind of experiences, you're pretty much traumatized. So you really have to work on yourself. And in those days, there was no therapy, no coaching. So it was not easy to go through all of this. But my animals always helped me. Actually, when I was 8 years old, I had my pet rabbit. That was my consolation. And over the years, when I started to process this trauma, I started to understand that I'm not alone. There are so many people who are suffering from some kind of childhood trauma. And over the years, a lot of people asked me for advice to help them with the problems in their lives. And that's how I went into life coaching. And from life coaching, I became an NLP Master. And then I went into mental health coaching. And it's so fascinating. It's such an in-depth discipline of life coaching. It is so advanced. It's really bordering to psychotherapy, that it's absolutely amazing what you can achieve with your clients. And I find it absolutely fascinating. And I'm very, very passionate about helping people who suffered from some kind of childhood trauma, either with mentally ill parents or other kind of trauma, and to help them to overcome this trauma through mental health coaching, and especially in the dynamics to go to the root cause. And that's absolutely fascinating. So I really love doing it, and it's a real challenge.
Yeah, I see you're very excited about your life work, and this is truly a passion for you, I could tell. And with the techniques and tools available nowadays, people should know that, first of all, they're not alone struggling, going through different challenges, either different trauma in childhood that might occur to them, or something that they experience in a daily life, or just not being happy in the relationship or in their career, and was just diving into like your inner, wisdom and how you feel. Your emotions tell you that if you're not feeling good, there's something that is off with your alignment. What is it? So maybe a practitioner could help you and guide you through what are the actual, kind of like limits that you have on yourself, like through your experiences, and help you to remove those, because this is something that will change your life. Don't you think so?
Yes, I completely agree with you, Anna. And what you are saying, that people sometimes are not really fully happy with their lives, or they're not really satisfied, but they don't know why. They don't know what's the cause for it. And they know there is something somehow missing, and somehow deep inside, they feel there is something going on. But as you say, they don't know what it is. So they need somebody who is professional, who can help them to reconnect them with their inner parts, to let them understand what's the problem, because it can affect their relationships, it can affect their work, it can affect their happiness. And as you say, once you understand why you can say, they have this feeling, what's going on inside of them. Then you can help to heal it, to remove those burdens that might be there, and then really to create a new quality of life. And it is really a new quality of life that you can achieve, because the outcome can be so different and can really incredibly change everything. And I remember a client that I had, and I did an inner dynamic session with her, and she always thought that she's suffering from cancer, and she couldn't even sleep at night. And while we did those inner dynamic session, we came to the point that as a small child of just around 4 years old, she had a conversation with her mother. Now, her mother suffered from cancer, but because she was so young, and when you're a child, you think the whole world revolves around you. So she thought it's herself. She projected it on herself. And this was so deeply buried in her subconscious mind that she couldn't even remember it. So when we did this inner dynamic session, we came to that point that we could clarify this whole conversation. We could revisit the conversation. And when we finished with the session, it was really amazing. The comment that she had, it's like, it's like a burden is lifting from my heart and my shoulders. And then I sent her to the doctor to have a full checkup, and she was perfectly all right. And she said, for 40 years, I really thought I have cancer. I couldn't sleep a single night. And now I know I'm fine. And the change that you can achieve with these kind of really advanced tools, it's just amazing, actually. It's so brilliant. And it is available nowadays to people. It's not like even 20 or 20 years ago where you didn't have those really advanced techniques. It has so much evolved now, and it is available for people. So it's a huge help for them.
Right, and I know you're also NLP practitioner as well. What are your thoughts on how it's, helping people to kind of achieve that peace of mind with NLP practices as well?
Well, I think NLP is really fascinating because so many people suffer from limiting beliefs. They are limiting themselves. They have wrong beliefs about themselves, but even about other people. And there are certain NLP techniques or certain NLP tools where you can help them to go a little bit out of the actual situation, to look at things a little bit from a distance. You can look at it from a more neutral perspective. And when you do that, people start to understand that the situation is completely different than what they thought, and they can really see what's really going on. So you can create a massive shift of those limiting beliefs, and you can correct even the perspectives that they are in. And this really changes a lot. And there are so many brilliant tools that help people. And once you help them to do it, it's like, you have a key and you open a door for them, and they go through it, and it changes everything. And in the same time, it helps them also to become stronger, to become more resilient. And when they face an obstacle in the future, they know how to handle it. They know how to tackle it because they have learned those techniques, and they can use it every day. And it helps them to create a peace of mind, to create a kind of freedom for themselves. And that's a tremendous, tremendous difference for them. So I think it's really, really amazing what you can do with NLP, and the change that you see, it's really life-changing.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like with us prioritizing mental health, we should know that this is an important area we should be focusing on a daily basis. And that's how our life is kind of like driven by this engine that's running on the background without us realizing it. And with those different techniques, if we just release something that could limit us to go to that next level, maybe we can do it even like starting today with a certain type of habits that we instill in our daily routine as well. Is there any like small steps that people could incorporate like on a daily basis that you would think would be beneficial for them to switch their mindset into the right direction?
Actually, yes, that's very important what you mentioned, because even a small step can lead to something big in the end. And it's easier for people to start with small steps. And Now, if, for example, somebody does not have clinically manifest mental health problems, if they are just like mental health concerns, mental health coaching can help. But even small things can help, like journaling, like writing down what you have done through the day, and then to prepare like a gratitude journal. So what you have been grateful for during your day, because we are not aware of this. And this is where mindfulness actually comes in to help you as well. It is to become more aware of what is going on in yourself. What are your thoughts? Because often we are so much in our daily work and our daily life that we don't see it. But if we take a step back and we really become aware of what we do and what we think and what we can be grateful for, it makes a big difference. And then there is something really, really nice, what I personally like a lot. It is a kind of, it's called loving kindness, either meditation or even say good words like, may you be at peace and may you be loved. And it helps when you do this more and more frequently, your mind starts to accept these thoughts and it creates a shift in your mindset, because we are so many times really hard on ourselves and we do this unconsciously. We are not really aware because we are so used to it. But once we become a bit kinder to ourselves, then our mind can start to relax, because it's not just that we are kind to ourselves, but that we start to relax our mind in the same time. And these things like loving kindness meditation, like journaling, it helps. And even breathing. I love to do breathing exercises because it makes a big difference. Because when you connect with your breath, you connect your body and your mind. That's the main connection between body and mind. And it starts to calm you down. It is reducing your blood pressure. It is reducing your stress level. Your stress hormone go down. And it creates an overall shift, not just mentally, but even physically, because this is connected, especially through the stress hormones. And you can do even if it's just 5 minutes a day, even 3 minutes a day, will make a difference. So as you say, if you start even with a tiny step, but you do it continuously every single day, then it's going to make the change. And that's the point, not just to do it once a week, it's to do a tiny step each single day. And this really creates the massive shift that you can achieve. And you are very correct in what you say. Our mental health is the most important thing that we have, because if our mental health is good, we are able to be productive, we are able to live our life in a good way, and it will also influence our physical health. So it's all connected. And if we think about that, for example, worldwide, around 970 million people are suffering from mental health problems. It's a huge number. It is really a shocking number. So it shows us how much we should be careful of taking care of ourselves. And like, for example, in the US, 50% of people will suffer from mental health concerns once during their lifetime. So these are big figures, and it shows us how much care we should take of our mental health. So we should use all the tools that are nowadays very much available to us to strengthen our mental health, to protect it, and to be more aware of the importance of mental health. And I think this is absolutely crucial nowadays.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's crucial, and those big numbers, they appear in different countries. So we know that our focus should be on bringing us to the best mental shape that we can possibly be at, because it affects all areas of our life. We want to be in a relationship with, our significant other, with our kids also. With us, having that example with our kids is important too, because this is how they learn, by seeing you, feeling you, not what you say you're gonna do, but with you doing certain things. So we have to be mindful and also knowing that we can change. We can change now, and there are tools and practitioners out there that could help you with that transition to go smoothly and like less painful for you, because sometimes it's painful for people to think about change. If something is unknown and they don't know if it's gonna work, all kind of scenarios come up to your head. Why it wouldn't work, But whether you try, how would you know?
Well, the point is that usually people come to a certain point where they feel that something is wrong, but often they are shy to admit that there is something wrong. And because there is still, this kind of stigma of mental health around, and that's important. And that's actually where these tools like Zoom calls, like online coaching really comes in, because when you look at the clients, a lot of them feel more comfortable to do it via Zoom because they can do it in their home, in their safe environment. They don't have to go somewhere where somebody might see them, that they're going to a coach or somewhere. So it helps them actually a lot. And usually when you feel that there is, even if it's just a little bit missing in your life, or you feel that you feel some kind of pain that you cannot explain, you feel a burden that you don't know from where it comes, or that you feel that you have difficulties in your relationships, it's not really working out, there is something blocking you, then it's time to look for a qualified mental health coach. Because if you start early with this kind of coaching, you will not come to these major mental health concerns, because you catch it right from the beginning. And like this, these tools that we are using can help you in a much faster way, and you can implement it in your daily life, and that's going to change your daily life. So in the end, usually the people that come to us as a mental health coach, they feel there is something going wrong, but sometimes they cannot even pinpoint it. They just feel deep inside that there is something going on, but they cannot even say what it is. So that's why it is important in those cases not just to go to a life coach, because life coaches are not trained to go so deep to really find it out. And in those cases, just like talk therapy cannot help you, you need to go deeper, you need to find the root cause. And when you find it, then you can start to process whatever is there, you can create a healing process, you can remove those burdens. And this really changes lives. And this is, it's fantastic to see. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because when you see the clients before, and then when they go through the therapy, and then afterwards, it's like they're completely different people, and their quality of life has changed so much. And that's the beauty of it. But that's where I always say, not to be shy to ask for help. I mean, we are here, qualified professionals, to help. And as I said, it's no shame to work on your mental health, to have a mental health problem, because it's a shame not to ask for help, actually. So we should be brave enough to do that, because why should people suffer in silence? There is no need for it, and it doesn't help anybody. It's just going to get worse. So that's what I believe. It's never too late to ask for help. And when you really have this feeling, even if it's just a little bit off and a little bit wrong inside, and you feel something is not 100%, just go and ask for help. Ask a qualified mental health practitioner.
Definitely. And also, it's not just important for you personally, but it creates that ripple effect on people around you, in your surroundings, on your kids, your parents, whoever you're in contact with on a daily basis. So you will be helping a lot of people by making that decision. So, and that's the wise decision to make. And again, it could be maybe fearful, like something scary, but again, there is no shame. It's actually a courageous act to be able to ask for help. And it also shows how you stand up for yourself, So you have to know that you are important. Your mental and physical health is of priority for you. And you're willing to do what it takes to bring yourself to that level where you feel overall well-being.
Exactly. And, usually we are trained and we have learned to take care of everybody, as you say, of our families, the children, significant others, friends. But usually people are they find it quite hard to take care of themselves. And it is an act of self-care if you say, okay, I look for help, I seek help, because as you say, only if you are mentally healthy, you can have healthy relationships with your family. You can be a good parent for your children, because you are a role model. You have a role model function. And children will do the same kind of parenting in the future when they are parents themselves. They will look at you as this role model. So whatever they learn from you, they will do it later on in their life. So you have to be a very strong parent as well. And this only helps if your mental health is good. And as you say, it changes the relationships around you. And in the same time, whatever you speak with your mental health coach, it is completely confidential. Nothing goes ever out. So it's not that people have to be afraid that somebody will talk about it. It is 100% confidential. It's just you and your coach and nobody else. So like this, it helps people also to open up in a way they cannot open up to, let's say, friends or partners, because the coach acts as a kind of neutral person and they can talk about everything. They don't have to feel shame. They don't have to feel shy or to say whatever they want to say. And even if something comes out from the subconscious mind that's so deeply buried, it's fine. It's nothing they have to worry about, because the mental health coach is here to help. Like, for example, I am here to help my clients. And that's what I do with all my might. And that's what really makes a difference for them. They can be completely open and they are in a safe space. And this helps them to open up in a way they could never open up to anybody else. And as you say, it is very courageous to do this step. It's not easy for a lot of people in the beginning, because it's a big step into the unknown. They don't know what will come out of it. And especially if you go for mental health coaching and you start to really go deep into the subconscious mind, even to go down to the childhood when the client was 3, 4, 5 years old, it is a huge step, because you don't know what boxes you will open. But in the end, once you're able to do that, you can heal so many, so much pain and so much hurt, and you can relieve so many burdens that it is absolutely amazing. And once they go through this process, and I'm not saying it's an easy process if you go so deep, but it's so liberating. When you see afterwards, when they tell you, I had a huge big bear sitting on my chest and now it's gone and I can breathe again. I mean, how beautiful is this? Because it shows how much they have been suffering in silence. And nobody should do that. So that's why I believe, as you say, people should take care of themselves. It is self-care. And only if you are mentally healthy, you are able to create this healthy environment with all your friends, family, work environment, and live a life that's a happy life, a joyful life, and a life without suffering. A life without feeling this pain and hurt. And I think that's absolutely essential, because it helps you to find yourself and to be authentic, to be really you. And it is not to tell everybody what you did in this coaching session. It is to create this change inside of you. And once you do this, everything will change. It will just follow automatically.
Right. And also with having that person that creates a safe space for you, where that person would not judge you. Anything that you would say, it's safe. You can just be open and not worrying that what that person might think about you, which is not what it is during those sessions. It's when you can be just relaxed, completely open, and not worrying about anything else, but just talking about what's bothering you and going deeper in your subconscious with all those practices. And just know that it could open a new, opportunity for you, and you will feel lighter and more, relaxed and not as stressed, and you will see how it will just come off as some kind of burden, and like the weight is lifted from your physical body. It will feel just better. But again, like, we have to be willing to do that in the first place and not be afraid of what if people think I'm crazy if I ask for a therapist, a mental health coach? Why always think about other people's opinion of us? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter more for you than your own health. So you have to think what is important here, and with you knowing that you should work on your own like mental and physical health, and that comes first. And doesn't matter what other people think or might think. Maybe they don't even think about it, but you created that in your mind, and that's what's stopping you. It's one of the reasons or excuses that you come up with. Maybe something else will come to your mind, stopping you from achieving something that you could be, and improve yourself to the point where you're living your dream life. And that's possible. But again, with all those different negative thoughts that come into your mind, and with you accepting them, and again, that's a choice. So that's your choice to accept those thoughts. And then those thoughts become actions, and you stop you from doing certain beneficial things for you. So we have to, again, make that breathing room, like be mindful of how we feel. If that's off, if something is bothering you, but you cannot describe in detail what that is, so that's a signal for you that you should look into that in more detail, and find time for yourself at self-care.
Exactly. It is self-care. And the problem is that nowadays everybody has to be perfect. Everybody has to be flawless. And if people feel that they have a problem, as you say, they usually cannot even share it with somebody, because then they wouldn't be so perfect anymore. And a lot of people are really having a mask that gives this perfect picture to other people, but inside they are not so perfect. They are having problems and they are suffering. And that's what we are doing in mental health coaching. We are removing layer by layer by layer until we reach, we call it core self. That's really the innermost part of ourselves, where we can be really, truly ourselves. And once you reach to this stage, it is absolutely amazing, Anna. It is, when people describe it, and when you feel it personally, and I felt it myself as well, when you connect with this state, you feel such a peace and a serenity and a beauty. It is so fulfilling. You are like, you're drifting in this wave of peace, of serenity. It is such an amazing feeling. And you teach your client to come to this state and to anchor it, to have it like an anchor in a ship. You can always come back to the same place, so they are able in the future to come back to the same place, and it's like a source of healing for them, and they can be truly themselves. And that's so important, because especially as you said, we have sometimes this picture in our mind that yes, we need to be perfect, what other people think about us. But in the end, first of all, often we have different perceptions of what people really think about us, because we have our idea in our mind, our perception in our mind that might be wrong. And in the same time, if we are truly ourselves, people can feel it. They can feel this authenticity, this real you, and they can feel this energy that comes from you. And they will see you as you are, the whole beauty that you are. And each one of us is different. But when you reach to this state, it's really so peaceful and so beautiful. And this really helps people to create this healthy mind and to be able to reconnect with themselves, because we are sometimes so removed from ourselves nowadays. When we look at all this technology, social media, there is so much coming on to us, and we are like divided between so many different things. There is so much pressure on us from different angles. But if we are able to connect with our most inner self, our core self, then we will be also stable. We will be strong enough. We will be resilient, and we will be able to overcome no matter what kind of problems we have to face in our life, because we are much more grounded, and we know we can rely on ourselves, because all these burdens that we had were lifted. Now it is us, and we know that we went through this experience, and this experience has empowered us. It has made us stronger, and it was maybe a difficult way to decide to go for such kind of mental health coaching, to ask for help. It was the jump into the unknown, but the results that you get, they empower you for all your life, and it is changing the life. And I think this is what people should think about. It's not the way it is in the end, what they can get out of it. And that's really such a tremendous change. And I believe that each one of us deserves it, deserves to be, living in this kind of serenity, of peace, to really show the beauty that we are. But we can only do that if we are mentally healthy, if we are strong, if we are grounded, and in the same time, if we are able to empower ourselves. So I think that's absolutely essential.
Yes, it's essential, and we should know that our birthright is to be joyful, happy, not being here like suffering and being stressed or anxious. So we should think about why we're choosing the other way. Like, it's again us realizing that our mental health is important and it should be taken care of. And that will impact so many different areas of our life and create a better quality of life overall.
Yes, exactly. I think it is just really that we have to take this step to say, okay, I feel there is something wrong or something is off and I'm not 100% okay. And I do this step, I ask for help. And I think once you are courageous enough to take this step, then you start changing your life right from this very moment. And once you go this road, most of the people regret that they didn't do it earlier, actually. They said, why did I wait so long to ask for help? Because the change is so tremendous. But that's what I want to encourage everybody to be really, strong enough to say, okay, I ask for help and I go for help. I do something for myself because I deserve it, to be happy, to be joyful, and to be mentally fit.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your thoughts and wisdom. I will put the episode description, your website with all the information for those who want to see in more detail. And I'm glad we had that topic discussed, which is a very important topic nowadays. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to be on your podcast. It was so nice to talk to you. I really enjoyed it very much.
Me too. All right.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Stay tuned.